Truth Tuesday. Now today's truth's a solid truth, a truth that doesn't make much sense. I'm going to say this, you're going to be like, yo, what? That makes no sense. And I do agree, it does not make much sense until you break down the meaning behind it. So today's truth that we need to cling tight to is count it all joy. Coming right out of James, count it all joy when you come against trials of many kinds. Wait, what? Like, why? That makes zero sense. I don't get why you'd want to count a trial as something to be joyful for. Well, let's break it down. Count it all joy isn't so much like, yes, but like understand the point of, wait a minute, we serve a God that doesn't make mistakes. We serve a God that has a plan for our life. We serve a God, like it says in Psalm, that He's written every single day of our life in His book before we lived one of them. So the reason we can count it all joy is because, well, first off, it's not a, why God, why are you letting this happen to me? Why did this happen? It's a what, God? It's all about your perspective. The counting it all joy is to change your perspective of knowing that this is going to produce something good for you. Something good is going to come out is because we have a God who redeems. Even in the trials you face because of your own mistakes. If a trial comes out of a sin that you committed, I mean, that you put yourself in that trial, but it does not mean that God cannot change that perspective. I love the 50-20 rule. And it's Genesis 50, verse 20. That what man means for evil, God can use for good. So even whenever something comes against you or you step into something that is out of God's will for your life, if you submit that and surrender that to God, you can still count it as a joy because you can entrust in your good Father who can turn a bad situation into a situation that can glorify Him. And so we count it all joy because we know it's going to produce a fruit in us that will help us have endurance in our faith. Because when we go against trials, we can look back and see, man, God was faithful. So we can look ahead and next trial comes away, we're like, man, if He was faithful then, He's able now. And that's why we count it all joy. Count it all joy when you come against trials of many kinds because it produces endurance and that endurance solidifies your faith and it's such a sweet thing. Doesn't mean it's going to be fun to go through, but you have a good God that's got a plan for that. So don't ask the why gods. Ask the what God. What are you doing? So when you do come against something, you can know, wow, God's got a plan. This really sucks, but I can count it as joy because I know that my God has a plan for this. So that's the good news, is yes, hard times are going to come as a believer because we are going to be sanctified. We are going to become more like Jesus. And our flesh dying is not a fun process, but it produces fruit. And that's what's important to hear. Your trials produce fruit. So go forth. Do mighty things.